Hey guys, so I just got back from a gig at Northridge Country Club. I'm actually nursing my throat with very unhealthy things. Sponsored by Dr. Pepper. It was such an amazing gig, and it kind of made me realize as I was driving home the importance of what tonight meant for me, as far as what I convey to you guys as my audience, as my respective audience. I was going to make a video kind of explaining who I am and what I care about and what I'm trying to do with this channel. And I think tonight helped me realize what it is. And so instead of making a big video explaining the ins and outs of why I'm having a YouTube channel and what I'm doing, I just want to tell you the story of what happened tonight and what it means for me. Seniors, this is not good for your throat. Okay. So here's what happened tonight. I went to my gig. I set up all my stuff. I had my buddy Isaac from the last video. I had him help me set up my stuff and did a little bit of a sound check, and I was all set to go. Playing indoors, it was a lot quieter. I didn't have to force the voices much, which was great. And it was all going really well. I was just sort of playing my basic set for about 2 hours until I took a break for about 5 minutes to get me a cup of coffee, get me some more water, and then I was back on there for the last hour. And people generally showed a lot of attention to the music. They were clapping and paying attention to it for the most part. Not a whole lot. It was one of those grills, they called it a grill and chill. It was just sort of really relaxed time. It wasn't like people were there to see me. But it was really fun, but something happened towards the end of it that changed everything. During the last hour, I noticed that there was a group of women, most of which, some of them were, as actually a good mixture of them. Some of them were about their mid to late 20s, if I had to guess. But the oldest of them was probably more towards their 50s or so. But they were all just kind of congregating. They were hanging out. They were sipping wine. They were eating their food. They were on the other side of the room, and I was on the other corner playing my music. It wasn't very loud. They were just sitting on the other room, and I started playing one of the songs that I had been playing from earlier. It was an Ed Sheeran song, and I noticed that one of the ladies was kind of bopping her head to it. And so what I tend to do is when somebody in a room of people is really vibing with my music, I play to that person, and she loved it. And so I was playing it a lot louder, and I was kind of directing my energy towards that side of the room. By the end of that song, she had decided, it's time for us to stand up and move to the other side of the room. All of that group came over and sat down in front of me. Everybody else for the night was gone. And they sit down, and they're just hanging out, and then I had an audience all of a sudden. Kind of unplugged a little bit. I was like, hey, what do you guys want to hear? Who do you like to listen to? And we just all hung out, laughing, singing. It was all great. And they thanked me for playing for them. And one of the gentlemen made a point of coming up and starting a conversation with me. I made a point of standing up, coming over to him, shaking his hand, put my guitar aside, shook his hand, talked to him, met this man. His name's Mr. Chris. Chris was by far one of the greatest people I've ever talked to after a gig. And he had plenty of good things to say about the way I play. He kept on saying I played smoothly. I'm like, thank you for saying that. And he and I got into a separate conversation while everybody else was hanging out, chilling, whatever. We were just talking about music for a minute and talking about Billy Joel and Elton John and all these artists, and talking about how talking about the most beautiful music that you hear today that people are listening to, and it doesn't matter how old you are, they're listening to it. People like Billy Joel, Elton John, the Beatles. We were talking about how the reason why people are still listening to artists like that is because they're singing about things that are constant and have never changed. He asked me if I had gone seeing Billy Joel live. I said, no, sir, I haven't. And he said, invest in it. When Billy plays one note and everyone sings the entire song, and he doesn't even have to sing for 3 hours. No opening act, 3 hours of Billy Joel. He barely sung a song because all he had to do was hit a note, and everyone was singing it. And the thing is, the audience for Billy Joel varies from young people to the oldest people. Like, there are generations that listen to Billy Joel. That's what he kept saying, was like, the fandom spans over generations because he's not singing about things that are temporary. He's singing about things that are constant. We were talking about how the best musicians, you can't lump them into a genre. I dare you to lump Billy Joel or Elton John into a specific genre of music, and they just don't fit it because they have created something in of themselves. And that's what I want to do. And that's why I'm using this channel, is I want to show the process of a young man trying to figure out what his sound is and what his music is, and sharing that with people. I have songs like Miracle out on the music video and all that. I have songs like that. I haven't written a song over the past year probably that sounds anything like Miracle. I wrote Miracle about 2 years ago. And since then, I have yet to write a song that sounds anything like Miracle. Right now, I'm writing a lot of classical piano stuff and things that you would not hear on the radio because they're so much more, they just don't sound the same. And so that's what I want to capture with this channel, is the things that I care about being portrayed through my music, and showing the process of a young man like me, a 20-year-old guy who's a college student and is just trying to figure out what his sound is and what he wants to tell everyone. Literally just one song at a time. It was truly a wonderful conversation and a wonderful night. I've never walked away from a gig so, not just happy in general of how it went, but I walked away proud to be Daniel Bridges. And that's not something that happens a lot at a gig. Sometimes you have gigs that you walk away feeling like garbage. Gigs like that, you walk away not just feeling like nobody paid you attention, because that's a whole thing of itself, but you walk away feeling like what you did didn't matter. You walk away feeling like the music that you sang and the things you did didn't change anything. But today was something truly beautiful because something changed in that moment for somebody somewhere. That's what we should be doing as artists, is we should be setting out to make change, not make music. And so that is what I'm about. That is what this channel is about. That's what Daniel Bridges is about. So I hope that was helpful in explaining what I'm doing here and why it matters to me. Sometimes it's going to be me editing a video to make you all laugh, and sometimes it's going to be me sitting down and getting emotional about something. Whatever it is, my hope is that I can walk away from any video I make or any song I write or any conversation I have feeling like I changed something for the better. So I hope this was fun to watch and to listen to, and I hope you got something from it, because I certainly did. And yeah, you guys have a good night.